Okay, wonderful. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our July GAAPP Academy. It's strengthening your digital communications, and we're so pleased that you are here today. I'll introduce you to our speaker, Fanny, in just a second, but first, let's talk about Wordly. So if we can go to the next slide. In the chat, for those of you who are here, Victor is sharing the link for you to click on so that you can see your or have this translated into your language preference. If you're watching on your phone, you can scan this QR code right here and follow the instructions so you can then have it on your phone if you prefer that. And Victor, do you want to give the instructions in Spanish?
Hola a todos y todas, bienvenidos a esta nueva edición de GAAPP Academy. Para este webinar tiene traducción en español o en cualquier otro idioma. Hay dos maneras para acceder a esa traducción. Una es a través de la aplicación de Wordly que veréis aquí en Zoom. Si no tenéis acceso a esa traducción escrita porque estáis en un teléfono, aquí tenéis el código QR que podéis escanear para escuchar o para también recibir la traducción mediante texto, como queráis. Debéis usar unos audífonos como los que tengo yo para poder escuchar.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And there will be times, just so you know, for a Q&A at the end, so you can add comments to the chat or add questions to the Q&A throughout. And then we will help you if you have any questions with Wordly, etc., and then pose some questions to Fanny as we close. So let me introduce Fanny. I'm so pleased that we have you here today to speak with us. And I think you're on the next slide if you want, Fanny. Fanny is a French expert patient in atopic dermatitis. Now, she has been suffering from a severe atopic dermatitis since her birth. She unfortunately got the whole atopic package. So she has severe eczema, asthma, allergic conjunctivitis, and rhinitis. This condition took her, as she says, to hell and back, and it sounds like it, but has also offered her a strong expertise on the subject and some encounters that have changed her life for the better. She is now very strongly committed as an AD patient advocate at AD dedicated events. She's also a content creator, and she collaborates on a regular basis with healthcare professionals to raise awareness of the patient journey with AD and how patients can manage their part of the journey. Author, speaker, and communications professional, she's involved in many projects around atopic dermatitis around the world, and we're also lucky that she's the communications manager with us at GAAPP. Her dual role as patient advocate and communications pro gives her a relevant perspective on how to engage the community on social media in an ethical and sustainable way for patient advocacy organizations. Thank you so much for being here, Fanny. We can't wait to hear all that you will teach us today.
Thank you so much for this introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm so pleased to share with you today on this subject that I love, digital communication. And as Kristen said, I am a communication pro for sure. I love to share with people my journey, to help them, to advocate, to raise awareness. But I never forget that most of all, I am a patient. I've been a patient and I will always be a patient. And that's where I find the roots of my commitment. And that's where I think that I find the strength to give and broadcast all these messages. So I know that behind every person committed in those patient organizations that you all run, there is a strong personal story. And I think this is very helpful for communicating. So this is one of the subjects we are going to talk about today. Regarding health digital communication, it's for sure a real challenge nowadays, this subject, because patients and caregivers need answers. They are lost in their journey with their health. And we know that all around the world, there are a lot of inequalities. So health systems are struggling, and for sure, internet and social media are a good solution to find accessible content and resources 24/7, and some kind of free advices, free emotional support to feel less lonely and powerless. And sometimes this content is accessible to our level of knowledge and etc. It's very useful, but it's also full of paradoxes. There is the best and the worst online, and there are so many red flags regarding health advices. I share with you some of them here. You might know that most of the content we encounter with is to sell us something, so we have to be careful. And you might know that on internet, marketers are king, because the more you pay, the more visible you are. Sources are very hard to track. And you might know that regarding the quality of your content, even if you create a really good content, you might know that sometimes evidence-based content, scientific data is not enough for people to trust. They need to relate, to engage with the content. So that's why we are going to talk today. I propose to explore this subject in 3 simple steps to boost your digital communication. The first step is going to be on how to choose your social media, because I know that our health subjects are so important to us that we feel like everybody should be concerned of and a target of what we do. But you know that most of the time trying to talk to everybody and everywhere is ending in talking to nobody and being nowhere. So you have to make choices to be efficient, especially if you don't have the financial resources to have a full-time person committed to social media content. It's a full-time job, and I might say that our community manager, Stephanie Petty, is doing an amazing job for GAAPP. So big up to her. It's a real job, so let's choose on where to go. This is going to be our first step. So I'm going to share with you very text-heavy slides. It's like a comparative table on which interest of each social media. We are not going to read all of it, but it's just for you to have an overview. So if we talk about LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, on this slide, you can discover the type of content you can find on it, the type of audiences profiles, the profiles of the users, the number they are, and also you can find some algorithm priorities. Algorithms are the formula made by the social media owner to decide which content should be valued or not. So here I'm sharing some tips on how to have a good reach with free content that you post. So you can explore that for the 6 main social media. Here is Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And here you have TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. I know you will have those slides, and you can explore this content further to better choose which audience you want to reach out to and through which media. So take the time to look at these and make your choice. And I know you will ask, please tell us which one is the best to raise awareness, to educate on health subject. And I will answer that it all depends, highly depends on your goals, on your target audiences, and on your organization capacity. And let's be realistic, we cannot be everywhere all the time and post about everything. So each one of the social media have their advantages and disadvantages. So there is not the perfect solution, but we recommend some kind of multi-platform approach, but reasonable in regards of your organization capacities. So maybe if you have a lot of ambition, you can say, so first I'm going to go there, and maybe in a few months, if I manage this, I will go on another social media, but go step by step. So here I have summarized why each social media is a good solution for health. Instagram is really the best for engaging with the community and give bite-sized education. It's a short format, video format, or visual format, and it's very useful to share some testimonials, little Q&As, and little pieces of education. It's on Instagram, you're going to find an enthusiastic community of young adults between 18 and 35, mainly, but there are other profiles. And you are going to find wellness enthusiasts. So it's a place where patients are looking for relatable and visual content. YouTube is going to be the best for in-depth education. There you will find tutorials, expert Q&A, long testimonials, or webinars, as we are doing right now. TikTok is really good, of course, for the young audiences. And it's really a good solution to make some subject viral, but you don't really decide when you do the buzz. The buzz choose you. So it's a commitment. So TikTok is really a high commitment because it's only videos. So you have to really think about it before choosing it. Regarding the three other, you know that LinkedIn is the best for the professional networking, but it's also a way for patient organization to reach out to industry leaders, to healthcare professionals, to policymakers. So if you're advocating for patients, this is a place to be. I get the question often, like, should I create a personal profile or an organization profile? And I would say do whatever you can, but the personal profile is necessary because it's human connecting to human on a professional level. So it's very important to have a individual profile. Regarding Facebook, let's face it, is going old. Most of the young people flew away from Facebook. You are rarely gonna find people under 25 on Facebook because their parents and grandparents are here, so they don't want to be here. But still, it's to this day, it's the most widespread social media. So it's still important to be there. And there you will find some kind of long format, private groups that is very helpful in building a health community, private community. And the last one is X, former Twitter. It's currently experiencing a big decline regarding some political issues and everything. So regarding the lack of fact checking and everything, I won't recommend the use of X. It used to be very useful to reach out to institutions and policymakers and industries, but nowadays it's going through a big decline. So now that you have some tips on how to choose your social media, the most effective for the message you have to give to your audiences, here is my more precious recommendation on how to have more impact in your digital communication is to inject more emotions into your content. Right now, we are drowned under thousands of informations every day, so much stuff online. It's very difficult to connect and relate to anything. So my better hook to attract people on what you do is going to be about injecting some emotions. So I want to share with you two tools that I had in mind and that can be helpful for you. It's going to be this triangle that I love between clarity, simplicity, and emotion. And I share with you on this slide a little checklist to go through when you redact your posts, to be sure that the essential is always the message. So is it clear enough? What is the main subject of my posts? Ideally, we want one post, one idea. We shouldn't share so many stuff in one post. Are we sure that we address our community as you instead of talking as we? Because that's a main common mistakes on digital communication. Organizations tend to talk as we do this, we do that, la 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 la, and forget about the community that is behind. And you can say the exact same things, but talking from the patients or your stakeholders point of view, talking as you might need this, we might have a solution. And also regarding clarity, is your visual helping the clarity, or is it helping the message or not? So this is kind of the question you can ask yourself. Same for the simplicity. Is the vocabulary accessible? We tend to use medical terms. Do our audiences are clear with those medical terms, or should we simplify it and take this opportunity to educate also around the vocabulary? Can we say the same things with less words? Because we tend to write a lot and talk a lot. So its simplicity is going to be needed for our intention in each post to be clear. And same for the visual. The less the better. Choices should be made. We cannot say everything in one image. So, and the last, of course, corner of the triangle that gives balance for me is going to be emotion. If it's simply informal, I'm not going to have the desire to interact with this content. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to just click like I like, because thank you for this information. But if you want me to interact more, I'm going to need some emotion in this. And it's not often easy. We tend to think that talking about serious subject, it's difficult to put emotion in this, but emotion is what rules our world. Come on, we all have emotions every day, all the time. So we need to inject some of emotion in our content. So is our content able to induce some emotion? It can be anger on health inequality. It can be empathy on a patient journey or whatever, but you can find emotion to share. It's going to help your audience relate, feel seen and supported by reading your content, and it's going to help them engage with what you share. So you can go through this little checklist when redacting your message. The second tool is going to be a method that I often use as a patient advocate. It's called the MAIR method. MAIR as the French acronym for, the French acronym for mère means mother in French. So it's an acronym with M as moment, E as emotion, R as realization, and the last E as engagement. And it's going to help you structure your posts. You have to choose a moment in the past time to set the scene and the context of the subject you're going to talk about today. I will give you an example right after. Then you have to share the emotion you felt at that moment in the past and be honest and specific. And then in this post, you should share like some kind of turning point, some insight you gain from this situation, this emotion. What changed? What changed your mindset? What changed your situation? What helps you evolve around this subject? And then never forget at the end of this kind of post to add a question, a call to action, or reflection to invite your audience to engage with this content. I know that we feel that we talk alone. Sometimes we ask questions and nobody answers on social media, but it's better to do it and have no answer to forget to do it, because you lose interaction anyway. So this MER method can be really helpful to connect to the audience, to humanize the story, and if you analyze the content you like yourself, you're going to see that most of the time this content involves emotion and insights, stuff that are useful and that are empowering or interesting or educating for you. So the kind of content you like might be the kind of content you want to create, whatever subject. So try to inject emotion and insights, and it will help people want to spread your content. So I wanted to give you an example. I took the Instagram post that was created for today's webinar on Instagram by my colleague, my dear colleague, Stephanie Petit. It's a very nice and effective post with information, very clear, direct. You know what it is about, where it is happening, when, what to do. There is a call to action, so everything is fine. But I wanted to share it with another example. If I should redact it with the MER method to make it more personal, more about me. So here on the right, you can see my example of the MER method with this post. So I can share with you a moment in my past, like at 14, I truly believed my chronic conditions, eczema, asthma, and allergies would define me and limit my life. I felt broken, lost, harassed for my skin, overwhelmed by my health. I couldn't imagine a future that included both my dreams and my reality. But with time, I understood my pathologies don't make my life impossible. They give it depth, purpose, strength. They shaped my mission and my voice. My job now is communication, and sharing my health journey is my best ally in creating engagement and connection with other patients' organizations, patients advocate, patients, and even caregivers. I'm delighted to be hosting this webinar for GAAPP members on how to strengthen their digital communication. And so here I shared a moment, some emotions, some realization, and here you have the plain information that you need. And at the end, I don't forget to give a question to create some engagement. Like, do you think your story, just like mine, could become at one point a source of a professional power? So this is an example on how you can use the MER method to inject some emotion in your post. I hope you like it and you feel like using it. The next one is my favorite tip to inject some emotion in your digital communication. We are going to talk about humor. It's not because you treat a serious subject that you shouldn't you should take yourself too seriously. We can make jokes about anything when it's not, of course, discriminating. But humor can convey so much emotion and can help so much people relate and feel seen. So I wanted to share with you a tool that I use to make some humor. I let you discover the memes I created for you today. They are about asthma and allergies. So I hope that behind your screen, you have a little smile on your face. I created those memes. So a meme is an image extract from a popular culture movie or reference, and it's used to convey a humoristic message. So here on this link that you will have on the slides, you can have a meme generator, a place where to find those images, and a very simple way to transform it with your own messages. And that's what I've done. Here you have two examples. On the left, you have a picture from the movie Toy Story. with Buzz Lightyear explaining life to Woody, and Woody doesn't seem to be that happy with those advices. So I use it to share how we feel when we have unsolicited advice, especially from someone that is not understanding what we are going through. So I feel like Woody when I have unsolicited advice. So that's a good way for me to relate. And if I see this, and that in the description I got some advices on how to connect to people that go through the same thing that I do, and feel seen and supported by a community that understands me, I will relate, and I will feel like sharing this content. The other content on the right is about a guy having a hard choice to make. Two possibilities: going out for a walk for his mental health, or staying in to avoid pollen allergies. I mean, that's a problem I have a lot at the springtime. So yeah, this is a hard choice to make. And imagine sharing this meme with some advices in the description, like, okay, if you have the same hard choice to make, here are some tips to survive spring with your allergies. This is what you can do. You can protect yourself like this. You can go this time of the day, blah, blah, blah. Some advice that can be helpful. So step 3, I hope you're going to inject some humor in what you do. It's going to be helpful. Step 3 is going to be about the best practices and the key tools you can have to boost your digital communication and give your message every chance of reaching its target and goal. First, I want to talk to you about a tool that is free and public that you can find online. It's a website called answerthepublic.com. You can have a free search per day, and there is also a premium version. It's available in 7 languages, and it helps you know more about how people are looking for information on Google and social media like TikTok or Instagram. It's going to help you identify the keywords they are using, asking questions about their condition. So here I gave you an example about Answer the Public. I made a research yesterday about the word asthma, and I said it in USA and in English for my colleagues. So here you can have an extract. It's going to give you either a big wheel like this or a list with the keywords people are using. So here I've made a screenshot just for you to discover. So if you look at the orange part here, it's about the people using the word can. So they're going to ask Google, asthma can be cured? Asthma, can it go away? Asthma can kill you. Asthma, can you grow out of it? Asthma can cause. Asthma can lead to, and there are many others. So it seems partial, but that's how people use Google. They don't have they don't use a plain question. They don't finish that sentences. They're going to go for the main ideas. And it could be useful for you to know how they ask for questions, so you can know how to structure and choose your answer. So maybe asthma can be cured can be a good way, good keywords for you to create content to answer to this question. Can asthma be cured? And you're going to give some answers around this. But knowing how they ask the question is very useful. And there I made a research for Google, but if you look in the black rectangle, you're going to see that you can use it for other search engine like Bing, or for YouTube, or for TikTok, or for Instagram, and for Amazon for the marketers, but here we don't mind. But you see that you can find some good way to identify how your target audience search for content on internet. Next, I want to talk about our raising friends. ChatGPT and every AI tool. We are very divided around these. Some of us hate them, some of them love them, some of us love them. So I'm not gonna choose a side here, but I'm just gonna say, if you use ChatGPT, of course it can help you, it can be a good assistant, but please don't let ChatGPT do the work regarding digital communication. And there are many reasons for that. ChatGPT quality answer is going to depend highly on how good you ask the questions. Prompt is key. And the English talking version of ChatGPT is going to give the most result because it's the most fed around the world. So depending on your country and your language, you're going to have less qualitative answer. And you have to keep in mind that ChatGPT was created as a tool to chat with us. So it wants us to be happy with our answer. So if you ask something, is going to please you, is going to give you something you like. But the reality is that very often the sources or data are not very reliable. You need to always fact check everything ChatGPT gives you. You have to find the reliable sources behind what ChatGPT gives you. And ChatGPT, in another hand, can help you find your vocabulary, find your signature tone, but you have to create a lot by yourself. Your identity is very important. Nobody wants to engage with content created by a robot. So we need a human behind all this. So ChatGPT can do a draft, and you have to do it yourself and shape it for it to be emotional and connect. I mean, that gives you the desire to engage and connect with. Sometimes ChatGPT is a bit boring. It can do some emotional, but don't stop me. Otherwise, be very careful. Don't share sensitive data on ChatGPT. No personal information or story of your members. Be sure everything stays factual and anonymous. Don't share your organization innovations because you don't know where those data are going. Once they are given to ChatGPT, they are not yours anymore. So be very sure that you use it with a responsible and ethical way. But it can really help you shape some of your content. For example, you can say to ChatGPT, hey, here is a post I redacted around asthma. Can you shape it in the MARE method way? And ChatGPT is going to give you some tips on how to redact with the MARE method, but you have to correct and make it more human by yourself. So it's an assistant, but it shouldn't stop us. These intelligent tools shouldn't detract us for being intelligent ourselves and emotionally intelligent, especially. So ChatGPT can be helpful, but use it responsibly. The other tool, maybe you know it, is Canva. Canva is so important to create simple visual. I don't know if you use it. If you use it, that's fine. But if you don't use it, maybe it could be interesting to discover, because it's a very simple option to create visual. Even if you don't have any skills in that, there are many templates, many simple toys to help you create visual. You might know that Canva is free for a good part, but you can also access to a premium version for free as a nonprofit. You just have to reach out to Canva through their website, justify your nonprofit, and they're going to ask for your digital existence. You might have a website or some social media. But if you do, you're going to access a premium free yeah, premium free version, where you have no limit in the templates and visual you get access to. No need to be a graphic expert, really. There are a lot of templates for all kind of social media, all kind of tones. You can adapt the colors. It's a very good way to create some consistency long term regarding your visual. And it's really easy to handle. And there are many tutorials to use Canva on online. So this could be a great way to create visual with your for your content. Last tip I wanted to share with you is about the frequency of the publishing. It's not easy to find the right cadence. We have so much pressure. We feel like, should I post every day? Should I show my life all the time? Should I la la la? I have many questions like this. And you know what? I don't have the answers, because it's evolving every minute we speak. It's changed all the time. So there is no, I should do this. There is what algorithm is asking for. But you might understand that algorithm in every social media is not helping us. It's really trying to make our content invisible, so we pay to make it visible. So they're going to be very demanding, those algorithms, for you to stay high in the natural reach of your content. So I would say no pressure, because once again, regarding your resources, human resources, financial resources, you might not be able to answer those demanding algorithm. So maybe my advice would be, do something that you can sustain long term. And to keep motivated, you have to plan your publishing and be regular. I don't mind if it's every day, every week, every 2 weeks, or even once a month, but try to be regular. Try to create some kind of rendezvous with your community, because it's very important that they know that they can reach out to you. The best you can do is post hard for I don't know, the worst you can do is post hard for a few days and then disappear. And then when we reach out to your social media, the last post we have is for 6 months ago, and we still don't know if your organizations exist or not. So it's very important to plan your publication, to be sure that you have regular rendezvous with your community. Is very important. Don't mind on how much, because it's changing all the time, but at least try to create a regularity. You might find a lot of examples of editorial planning online, on Canva, on Google, and even ChatGPT can help you create an editorial planning for you. You might know that it can be very simple. It can be an Excel table with ideas, when to post it, how to post it. So it doesn't have to be complicated, but it's just a way to think about it. Like, what if next month we want to talk about asthma and sport? So what can I do about asthma and sport? I can do maybe a funny meme about how I feel when I do sport, having asthma. Maybe I can create a patient testimonial. Maybe I can share some tips and information through carousel for Instagram, for example, or through LinkedIn. Anyway, if you think of the all-month publication, it's going to be easier to find the kind of content you can create to answer that. So it's very important for you to keep motivated and to not to tire yourself, to try to plan your publishing. And the last I want to talk about regarding boosting your digital communication is going to be about support. To be efficient when you try to communicate online, you also have to interact with other person content. You should not just be there and looking and never interact, because interacting feeds also the algorithm and help you finding your people, finding the content you like. Everything is made for that. But you have to know that algorithms sometimes lock us up in what we call cognitive biases, which means when you encounter a content you like, a post you like, you're going to like it, comment, share. And then the social media, the algorithm is going to say, oh, you like this. So you're just going to see stuff that are similar. And if you never interact with other kind of content, you're going to be locked up in a way of thinking only like you do, and you're going to lose out of sight the other point of view. So as a patient organization, it's very important for me to, sorry, I don't have the word in English, la veille, which means watch what the other do. It's very important to keep an eye on what else is said on this health subject you work with. So be careful to keep your algorithm open to other point of view than yours. Also, algorithms are working hard to keep us inside the social media, to trap your attention. So every time you share content where you ask people to go out of social media, like on your website or I don't know where, the social media is gonna make it less visible because they don't want you to go out. They want you to stay in. So you can also play with the algorithm to try to stay in the social media with your community. And you might know this is a disclaimer. When you have a voice online, to me, you have a big responsibility. So it's very also important that you always talk from your point of view, that you explain the sources, the evidences that help you create the content you share. And if it's not evidence-based, then just say it, that it's your journey, your point of view, because we need to clarify this. And you might know that a lot of people, especially young people, can be judged, blamed on their health choices, on their appearance on social media. So it's very important for us to create safe places where they can come, ask questions without being blamed, without being judged, whether health choices they made, they should be feel seen and safe with your organization. And you know, also social media is going to encourage us compare to each other, which can lead to guilt and despair. But also, if you share inspiring journeys with health issues, suddenly you can get inspired and feel supported and feel like you can do better even with the health struggles you have. So it's very important for us to be aware of this responsibility we have online. And I will also say, please engage with each other, quality content. As GAAPP members, don't hesitate to support each other, whether it's another part of the world. You can share, you can like, you can comment, you can save for later, you can follow each other, you can get inspired. And you know, you can find your own way to share the same messages. If you go to an organization that is bigger than yours and that share a lot more of content than you do, then get inspired, see their contents and find your own way to share the same messages and the same resources that can be helpful to your people. So to me, copying is not stealing, as long as you say from where it comes, and that you change it your way with your words, with your ideas, and with what you think is important to your community. And talking about that, I wanted to share a project that we are working on with the GAAPP team. It's a knowledge hub. It's going to be a tool that will be available in a few weeks on our website. It's a place that is really conceived to be yours, a place online where you will be able to upload or download or exchange resources around the pathology you work with. You can give and use time to support each other. It's a place where you can build your capacities as a non-profit organization, where you can learn more stuff about respiratory, immunology, and atopic conditions. So stay tuned, because soon we are revealing this tool that is going to be so helpful, we hope, for our member, and it will show how much strength it gives us to be supporting each other on a global scale, to face those health inequalities and everything. So thank you very much for spending this time today with me. I hope the tips I share will help you. You got my email address here. If I can help you in any way to boost a little your digital communication, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll be glad to meet you in GAAPP events or elsewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fanny. Just a fantastic presentation. And I've heard you speak before, but I learned many new things today. So just wonderful. I can't imagine hearing you for the first time. And we have some questions coming in, but please feel free to either put questions or comments in the Q&A or in the chat. So let's start with our colleague Warren has first a comment says, thanks, Fanny, an insightful presentation. And then follows with, at the patient and citizen involvement in health, we tend to use we a lot, perhaps as a way of reflecting a community of us working together. So can you talk a little more about the use of you versus we in posts?
Yeah, you can use us or we, as long as you say from what point of view you talk. Us patients, or us having asthma, or us caregivers is very different than just a we that is more informal and we don't know who is talking. So we can use we as long as we precise from which point of view we talk. And if we are patients talking to patients, we is very appropriate to share this sense of community. I was talking more about the organization that share only information about what they do, their activities, and forget content that are more reliable. So it is just a way to think, like, how my audience is going to receive that. Are they going to feel concerned? Is it about them, or is it just about us? If it's just about us, you can rethink it, reshape it, and to say, okay, you might have those needs, and maybe this event, this content, this tool, or this post we create can help you in understanding this or this. So it's just a way to think on how your user, your audience will receive it.
I think that's very helpful. Something to add to the checklist before you're sending something out. Very helpful, Fanny. We have a few more questions and comments. So
can I stop sharing the screen?
Sure, absolutely. So another one of the questions is in two parts. And the first is, given the growing demand for emotionally engaging yet evidence-based digital health content, how can we as patient advocacy organizations maintain a balance between the authenticity, right, sounding like ourselves, and then maintaining scientific credibility in our messaging? Not easy to do.
Yeah, for sure, it's not easy to do, and that's what is challenging. But for me, that's not a paradox. You can really do both. You can. Sorry, I'm very blur. I don't know why. You can really share evidence-based content with talking a little bit of a patient journey, or a little something that people can relate to. It's not incompatible. It's challenging for sure. How to do it? It's not easy. For me, it's like a gymnastic. You have to train and train and train, and every time you share some evidence-based content, you have to say, okay, how can I make it more human? How can I make it more about a patient difficulty? What can I share from me or from my patient community that can be more emotionally interesting around this study or whatever I'm sharing that is scientific? For me, it's not incompatible. You have to train it.
I think many of the things that you stated today, I think of that as like a muscle, right? Building a muscle, doing it repeatedly.
Yeah.
So I know that helps you get better as you go. The second part of the question is specific to younger audiences. So how can we apply that balance effectively between being engaging and evidence-based on fast-moving platforms like TikTok and Instagram for these younger audiences?
Yeah, it's a real struggle. Founding actually my own nonprofit in France, I am struggling also with that because I am not young enough to be on TikTok. I don't like it, and even for me that is connected, TikTok is a challenge. So I get the difficulty, and I don't have the answer exactly, but I might say that. Those young audience need to relate. So if you want them to relate, maybe you should find some young peoples that are inspiring, that are willing to share their journey. Maybe some young person that you help through your organization, you can ask them to give testimonials, to share some of their journey, because that's how other people can relate. And maybe some of them will be very happy to create TikTok around their asthma instead of being alone in their room. And maybe through your organization, you can help them. They can help you also shape a new way to interact with younger audiences. It's not easy for sure, but we have to occupy the field, because elsewhere there are so many false information on TikTok. Is so dangerous. We have to go there at one point, but I know it's challenging.
I love that idea. So it's engaging younger people to be champions for you or influencers in your space, I think. And they probably have a lot of fun with that too, in sharing their story.
Yeah.
We have other questions, Fanny. People are really excited to hear from you. Another question is, what are 2 to 3 must-have elements of an effective digital communication strategy for patient awareness and advocacy? So are there a few things that you would recommend for a digital communication strategy?
As I share in my presentation today, one will be relatable, be connected to your audience, understand their needs, understand what kind of answers they are looking for. That's the best way to be efficient with your communication. The second will be simple. Don't try to make it. We know that when we write something, we reread it for hours and be sure every word is perfect, blah, blah, blah. And I would be like, be a little bit more spontaneous. Like, not every post requires hours of reflection. I mean, as long as you're authentic and that you're giving your best and that you answer the patient needs, it's okay to be imperfect. It's better done for me than perfect.
Leave it at that. And a related question, do you go back and fix typos and that type of things in your posts?
Yeah, I do, of course. I'm not perfect either, so
Are there platforms that you can't edit on?
yeah,
I was
maybe.
wondering.
Yeah, maybe. Videos especially are difficult to edit once they are done. But error is human. That's also how you know that human made it. So it's
Yes.
okay if it's imperfect. You can say it, oh, sorry, in our video there is a little error, and you can comment it and be clear with what you do, and be accountable for your little mistakes. The only one that are perfect are the one not doing anything. So yeah.
I love that. Don't let the perfect get away in the way of the good, right?
Yeah.
You won't never get content out the door. Okay, another question that we had from the audience about sharing sensitive data and innovation with ChatGPT. So how can we make sure that we protect our intellectual property? Most tools have been indiscriminately using AI. For example, Microsoft is using Copilot on our documents and emails. So how do we make sure that we protect that IP?
I'm not a specialist, AI specialist, so I'm not sure I have the right answer to that. I might say that when I put information in ChatGPT, I always will be attentive to make it factual and anonymous. Like, as a patient organization, a patient is having this kind of difficulty and is looking for this kind of advice. What would you say? And I'm guiding it to give me a global answer that is not personal, that is not needing any data to answer. So, and sometimes I say to ChatGPT when he answers some stuff and say, is that source for real? And once he answered to me, no, it's not. I built it for you. And I was like, that's not what I want. So stop lying and give me something that I can check fact. So it's very difficult to navigate AI right now. We are discovering and growing with it. And there are many experts that can maybe give you this kind of answers. I don't have it, but at my level, my responsibility will be to be attentive of what I put on it. And there are very intrusive AI tool, and I don't love them, and I want them out of my life for the moment, but they can be useful in so many ways. So it's just a balance to find, and we are growing with that. We'll see what it's going to do.
All learning together.
Yeah.
Another question that we hear a lot. So obviously we're all working at nonprofits and our resources can be limited. Do you think it's helpful to invest in ads for some of our content? Is that where we should be putting some of our money, say for an event that we're trying to promote or getting people to sign up for our mailing lists?
Yes, paying ads can be interesting in some ways. I wouldn't recommend, for example, to buy followers. Don't do that because it's really not helping. You want to grow your followers numbers, but then you struggle fighting with this. It's very difficult. So don't do that. Try to be it grows slow, but it's okay as long as it's quality. It's better. But you can pay some ads for, as you said, events, or to invite people on your mailing list, for example. It can be helpful to help you target your audience by subject or by localization. Can be very interesting. It can also offer a good way to test and learn, like what kind of content or stuff my audience is like. And when it gives you a little boost of visibility, suddenly you're going to see, oh, they like this subject, and it's going to help you. But I might say you should always offer something in exchange for the data of the people. If you want them to register for a mailing list, for example, you're going to say, register to our mailing list and access this free iBook or ebook, or this tool, or these resources that is exclusive. So don't always propose something in exchange, because we all know that giving our data is difficult. We don't know where they go. So let's be transparent. We ask your data to do this, and this is what you have in exchange.
Well, this has just been absolutely fantastic. I know we could go on. We've just hit the top of the hour, Fanny. So I want to say thank you so much for this authentic presentation. It was so chock full of good information and tips for us. And thank you all for attending. We've got people from all over the world here today. So just so you know, this webinar is going to be posted both to our YouTube page and also to our GAAPP Academy page. You can reach the GAAPP Academy page by going to gaap.org, clicking on Education in the main menu, and then GAAPP Academy. We will see you all soon. Thanks again, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.